I actually think it's serendipitous for me to be here because John Bishop is my code word at home. We use it as a word for my todger.
Wow.
And
Whoa. We're off to a flying start here, Harry. Look, that's not true. Surely that's not true. You don't say I'm getting me John Bishop out.
well, the missus does.
Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely.
She's excited that I'm on the show.
So, James, we can't talk about the news without talking about what happened this week with your tweet, because Boris Johnson said that he would not leave number 10 unless a flotilla of tanks came to get him. And this is what you tweeted. Could all past and present soldiers of D Squadron please DM me? I'm putting something together. Very popular. I mean, first of all, just to clarify, you were in D Squadron. You were...
Yeah, I was a tank commander in D Squadron, and really all my old soldiers did actually get in touch. But I don't think, if you are organising a military coup, it's probably not best to advertise it on television. So keep it on the down low.
Because you've mentioned that you live this other life, which is amazing to consider the life that you live now. And it's interesting as well because you trained in Canada as part of it, didn't you? Which is obviously where you're from.
I did, yeah. I was in the nearest town was called Medicine Hat on the Trans-Canadian Highway. You know it well?
Alberta.
Yeah, and it was on 1,000 square kilometres of prairie land, but it was a massive game of Laser Quest, basically. Had lasers on our tanks, lasers on our rifles, sensors on our helmets and on the tanks, and we had, helicopters, aircraft, artillery.
The Canadians must have been very confused. Because, I mean, Canadians are tough. We live out in the elements, the men are quite burly, and they only know a few words. And then Britain, you've won so many wars, but then the soldiers are James Blunt and his friends.
Yeah.
But you're talking there about you growing up in Canada. You're probably now close to being more British than Canadian. You've been here that long.
Right, I came here when I was in my early 20s, and I've been here 15, almost 16 years. So I'm bang in almost the middle, I guess. Yeah. I love it here. I feel very privileged to be doing stand-up in the UK. My dad's from Ireland, so I think it was like an easy transition. But I bumped back into my high school boyfriend in Canada. I've brought him over as well, married him, and we've set up a lovely little family here.
Cool. Because I've known you for a long time, obviously, on the circuit and so on, and you were always a strong female presence, and, you're a single mum and so on, and at times you've done stand-up about never wanting to have a partner and never feeling the need to have one, and then you fall in love with your childhood sweetheart again. That's a lovely story.
I know, but I didn't mean to marry him, so I went home. I bumped into him filming an Ancestry show. I brought him here. I had UK immigration on my John Bishop about that. Like a nosy aunt. So like, what are his intentions, Katherine? Are they honorable? I fucking hope not. Am I right? Yeah! And then...
How accurate is the British Army? We've got a picture that you tweeted of you as kids and you now in your life.
I know.
I mean, it's a lovely story. What was the bit where you saw each other and went, oh my God, this is like being teenagers again, or...
It really was, and I never needed a partner, but I did always love this one. The timeline on it, I guess a James Blunt timeline, like we were split up around 16, 17, Back to Bedlam. Around moon landing, he married someone else, much to my dismay. They were divorced, and then by Once Upon a Mind, we were back together again. And it was just a 20-year gap. And I just couldn't help myself. I just always loved him, but I understand I've only been married a short time, and I know a lot of people have been married longer. It's not always rosy. I know that it can go wrong. Like, I know a woman who's been married 30 years, and she said to me, Katherine, the other night I saw a funny-looking mole on my husband's back. Decided not to tell him. So things have changed since we were young, but mostly for the better.
Oh, no, it's a lovely story. For you, though, James, you are recognised, obviously, as being a songwriter. But that song, You're Beautiful, is iconic, which is quite ironic if you know the words of it, because it's not essentially a love song.
It's not that romantic, is it? No, it's about me being high as a kite, stalking someone else's girlfriend on the underground. But people play it at their weddings, and I'm thrilled for them.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's lovely to have something that means, whether people have got the full intentions of what you've written, to have something that means so much to so many for so long. You know, it's been around now for, is it 16 years, 17 years?
Long old time, yeah. Yeah, I'm on a greatest hits tour at the moment, which actually, well, the real title is Greatest Hit Tour, obviously. And I did genuinely ask my record label if I could call my Greatest Hits album Greatest Hit and Songs I Wish You'd Heard. And they haven't allowed me that, sadly. But amazing to be on a Greatest Hits tour in the first place.
So have you seen that in time for Valentine's Day, ITV are running this new series about long-term relationships called For Better, For Worse? We've got a clip of it here.
Researchers have been scouring the country to find Britain's most average of couples. Meet Mr. and Mrs. Grey, the embodiment of long-term relationship Britain.
That was always going to happen.
ITV will spend the next few months following the pair for a brand new documentary about lifers. This is For Better, For Worse.
So let's start with your names.
He's Brian.
I'm Brian. And it's Barbara.
I'm Barbara.
Brian and Barbara. B&B.
I knew you'd say it.
I know, but it's funny. Look, we're B&B. You can come and stay at the B&B.
Yeah, but I mean, nobody's ever come.
No, because we're not really a B&B, are we? I don't think we've got proper facilities. You must have to qualify. You can't just, can you? I don't know.
Well, you need a hygiene rating, and with your eczema, we'd never get it.
And with their pearl wedding anniversary fast approaching, the flame is still well and truly alight. These two lovebirds enjoy spending time together,
Can you see that?
looking after their perfectly manicured garden.
So you've got your wedding anniversary coming up?
Oh, aye. Going to be our 30th, isn't it, love?
Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to do something really special for it, but he wants us to spend it together.
Can you explain why you're still together?
Oh, well, that's because we both want to win.
Yeah, both winners.
Yeah.
Winners? I don't understand.
Yeah, but, well, we stay together because the one that lives the longest gets to
Gets the house.
win the house. Yeah.